What's up? I'm Hugs. That's Sam. Welcome to Hugs and Sam. Today we're getting into a brand new series as voted on by our patrons. Shout out to our patrons. Mob Psycho 100. And this is going to be replacing One Punch Man. And apparently it's the same creators or someone in the process is the same because it's the exact same art style as what I've been told.
A lot of people
are
saying like this was a great replacement for One Punch because it was so similar.
Also, it's another short series, so this one will be easy for us to keep up with, pop off one episode a week while also potentially adding new series to the channel.
Oh.
So we're excited for that. We're looking for more short series, like 12, 13 episodes, new shows that only have a first season, stuff like that. So if you're interested in a show right now that is just starting out or is complete after 13 episodes or around there, 10 to 13, let us know in the comments. Help us out. Help us find some cool shows.
Yes.
There's a lot that people want to see that are huge, long shows. We'll get to those eventually. Mob Psycho 100, though, I have no clue what this is about.
Me neither. I have absolutely no clue.
There's a couple shows that we've started that I'm like, well, I at least have some idea or some concept of what this is. I have never even heard of this show before people started requesting it.
I feel like maybe they're superheroes just because people say it's a good One Punch replacer. So I'm like, I wonder if it has like a superhero or something.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's kind of just like my assumption.
I have
just
no clue.
thought that it was gonna be about superheroes.
One Punch I'd heard a ton about. That was a show that I'd really wanted to get into for a long time, and I love that show. I love the art style. I love the comedy. I think the writing is really good. I love that it's like a parody of all of the other genres. So if it's got any connection to that whatsoever, I think I'm probably going to love this show too.
Yeah.
Now, I know you weren't a huge fan.
I wasn't a big One Punch Man fan just because it's not like my type of style of show. So I'm really curious to see if this
I was going to pick it up
is going to if this is going to spark any interest.
And we are doing this in subtitles.
Yes.
So that was what most of the people said in the comments that we read, is that they wanted to see it in subtitle. Mm-hmm. So we give the people what they want and give them subtitle. All right, but let's jump into it. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's like an acid dream.
Yeah. I like the colors. Is this like the intro?
I don't know.
He's not even like a man, he's like a blob.
It looks like a guy. He just looks like he's made of... Was that like a Christmas ornament? What the heck? It's like I'm watching Real Monsters on drugs.
I feel like it's like animated Rick and Morty.
It's like a nightmare. Is this
Looks like
climbing up to
Salem.
100 or something? Like, is that the thing? Oh, damn. Just a fugly lady.
Yeah?
So, like, exercising demons, okay.
お試し A コーステスト 20%、 真面目 B コースだと 50%、 本気の C コースだと 99%、 例を削減することをお約束します。いかにもうさんくさいぞ。
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But the dude in the beginning was doing something or fighting something, so...
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I did say, but I was gonna say it looked like a nightmare. Her face will return to the...
Yeah, there is.
She's always fugly.
Yeah.
She's never not been fugly. This is crazy. But this does remind me of the battle scenes from One Punch. How it had the crazy
Yeah.
animation. I love how his face went dark.
Yeah.
It's a bullshit!
That's totally a One Punch Man thing.
まさか本当に しても手に負えない可能性がある。危険すぎる。
Ooh, no, no, no.
こいつ絶対霊能力者じゃねえ。確実に
You could be a psychic and not like cockroaches.
Yeah. Oh, hell no.
Oh, damn!
Headbutting me?
in my dreams.
まさかマジで出るとは。任せろ。それだ。
So
Splash.
食塩を激しく撒き散らす霊言の必殺技である。
violently throws
スーパーで売っ
tablespoon.
てる食塩じゃねえか。極めた塩じゃねえと聞かねえよ。
わからん。霊が塩に弱いというのは俺の思い込みだったのか。モブ、悪いけどすぐ来てくれるか。あ、いやマジでマジで。
So is
悪
that
霊
the
いるん
name
だっ
of the
て。
guy? Then I take it.
お客さんと悪霊ももう待ってるから。
I want to know what the
ごめんな。
100 is. What the counting up is.
食塩の次は中学生か。バカにする。
Oh damn! So maybe he is the real deal.
彼の名は影山茂雄、通称モブ。本物の超能力者であ
An actual
り、
psychic.
霊言新たかの弟子である。
Student.
そしてこの物語の主人公である。
22%.
Towards his explosion.
またこの子はスプーン曲げ
Uh,
ていい加減直しなさいよその癖
how does he just accidentally drop it the wrong way? You
今
know
く
what
ら
I
い
mean?
曲げさせてやれよ。
Going through puberty?
出たら
あー
シゲのお小遣いで買うからね
ごめん兄さんそれは僕にもどうにもできないや
こいつは困ったな。シゲよ。
I like that they have like a cute little family there.
Yeah.
Whatever. I imagined he was gonna be like this weird little loner guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
Aw.
I dig this. I like the awkward, like unskilled, unathletic
Yeah.
hero.
はい
ああ、モブ、昨日の今日で悪いけどな。すぐに駅まで来てくれるか。
駅
Short
ですか
notice again.
ああ、今日の仕事はでけえぞ。
Because in the very beginning, you saw when he reached 100, he like blew up and killed everything. So does he know
場
that
所は旧街道に
he's
あ
at
る
a percentage to blow up or something?
有名な心霊スポットだ。
Is that just like a thing for psychics?
閉鎖されて何年も経つが、20人以上が亡くなったらしい。
Damn.
このトンネルにはそれだけの怨念が渦巻いてるってわけだ。
So essentially, he's a ghost hunter.
Yeah.
不測の事態に備えて集中しとけよ。もう
I want to know like how common it is to be a psychic, because the parents just seem to be like, oh, he's just going through puberty and like can't control his power. I love the like Scooby Doo sound as he runs
Yeah.
モブ、聞いてんのか。でけえの溶かしに行くからついてこい。
わかりました余裕に見えたので手伝いはいらないのかと
怒らせたら。
無事じゃ済まないと思いますね
Damn.
I like how it made the boner boing.
Yeah.
Boing.
だから俺たちで除霊するんだろうか。
I dig this.
I like how they're polar opposites though.
涼しいな。
Like the teacher is this
懐中電灯を忘れたな。
egotistic, like arrogant
師匠何か感じません
joke
か
of a psychic, you know?
そういや、
And
かな
Mom
り
is
湿
just
気
this
がある。
chill,
いや霊気の話です
powerful
よ
being. You know?
おお、そっちな。
Oh my gosh. You can see
That's
like the
really
faces.
cool, yeah.
いやー、そんなにしようとかすることか。
He's so scared.
今回もラッキー。
Uh-oh.
That was one punch. Do you see that? That was Saitama.
Yeah, it is.
集団バイクで走行中に先頭のバナナの顔を踏んだばっか
Son of a banana. Oh.
So they all blew up. Damn. That dude is legit. Cigarette burn.
Oh my gosh.
俺の墓攻撃に引かないだと強烈なバリアが張られている
So Mob put the force field up around him? How does Mob not realize that he, like, Negan or whatever doesn't have any power, you
こ
know?
のレーゲン新たかと対峙しよう。
天をなくした拳でぶん殴るレーゲンの必殺技である。
ねえ全然大したことない
I like how Mob is basically like one punch, but just like with demons. Like, he can just destroy them, like,
Yeah.
except he just kind of made that dude smaller.
あのガキが可愛いならすぐに呼び戻せ早く
Wow.
Holy crap.
I love this art style.
Yeah.
There's something that's like very like 80s about it. I don't know. Maybe it's like the coloration or whatever. Oh, oh. He's just not even doing anything. Wow. Just like standing there chill, like.
おう無事だったか。
ああ、大した悪霊でもなかったですし。
So what are your first impressions?
I love the
Mob Psycho.
art style. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like digitalized watercolor.
It is really cool. It's like
It's
it's like
like-
watching a laser show.
Yeah, like the colors, like they're so bright, but like they like mesh together really well, and like it's like, I don't know, it's like things are formed with color and stuff.
I love
I
how
love
they
the use
have
of color.
The scrawly kind of crayon look when
Yeah,
like,
where it was like
there's
black
action
and
moves.
he was just white. Like yeah.
Because that reminds me of some of the really cool fight scenes from One Punch.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, I already love this, but, like we like ghost stories and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like, paranormal, like, stuff and anything creepy, and, like, just the thought of, like, him essentially being, like, a ghost hunter
Ghost
and
hunter, yeah.
stuff. Like, I just love, like, the storyline. Like,
I like Mob as a character in general. He just seems
he
really
reminds
cool.
me so much of Saitama because he's, like, very, like,
awkward.
yeah,
Not your
awkward,
typical
and
hero.
like he's like, oh, I'm nobody, but like, you know, it's just kind of like he doesn't really see himself as someone bigger, you know,
Yeah.
like, but he's really epic, you know.
Just seems like somebody that is, I don't know. It's almost like bored. You know what I mean? Like it's not a challenge to him.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Well, like,
The one ghost was talking about how evil the other spear was, how powerful he was, and scary and dangerous, and then Mob is like, he wasn't that strong.
right. But like, okay, so like he was at the end of the tunnel and he was just standing there, but like the little black man we saw in like the very opening,
I
that
think
was
that
like,
was him, yeah.
like, okay, but like we saw that in the tunnel too. So he was just standing there. So I wonder if like that little person is like an out of body type of guy that's like comes out and kills
Like
them.
astral projection.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something like that or if it's just like showing you what's happening in the psychic realm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't necessarily come out of him, but it's like what's happening in the other realm.
Yeah.
You know what I
like
mean?
what's happening, like, but that's him, like that's
Yeah.
representing
So
him.
what I'm wondering is, did we see? Is that the explosion that it's talking about? Like, is this whole season building up towards that explosion that we saw in the beginning?
I don't know.
Because obviously we already saw him explode.
Well, also like, okay, he bent the spoon, and his mom mentioned
By
puberty.
accident.
Yeah. So like, is like the puberty like leading up to, instead of adulthood,
The
it's leading
explosion.
up to 100%.
I don't know.
I just am really curious, like, what happens at 100? Like, does
He
that just
exploded.
mean
I
like,
think that's the explosion that we saw in the very
like,
beginning.
so
where
that's
he killed
just
all
like
those
the end of the
demons or
show
whatever.
and he like's dead?
I don't know if he'll die, but I'm assuming that's going to be like the end of the show because it looks like that's just what, like each part of that episode. We'll have to see what the other episodes pick up on, like if they keep the continuation of the count up and like what is happening in the story. But it seems like that.
Yeah.
Because we're already jumping in progress. He was already at like 20% or whatever when we started. It's not like he just started at 1%. So he's been at this obviously for a while, and it's been. I wonder if the more he uses his powers is what makes the explosion, like the percentage, go up.
That's what I was thinking, cause like, but it only went from like 22 to 27, and he fought those monsters, like, or those demons, whatever you want to
They
call them.
may not have taken that much of his
Spirits.
energy to do though. You know what I mean?
like, cause he said it wasn't a very powerful thing.
Yeah, and he killed like 18 of them or something. He counted up a crazy amount of small ones before he even
Yeah.
fought the one big dude that was the group, and then he fought the other big dude.
Yeah. So
he
like,
fought a lot of people.
does like fighting them make his percentage go up? And does he know, like you said, like does he know that he's gonna blow up? Like, will we assume blow up?
The ball. Well,
Don't know
it
if
says
that's-
percentile explosion, so I mean he has
Yeah.
to explode.
Yeah.
And in the very beginning, that dude that I assume is him gets eaten by one of the demon guys or evil spirits, and then there's like a explosion
Yeah.
that like kills everything.
Yeah.
Or at least all of the demons. Now, what my curiosity is, it seems like with how chill the parents were and normal about it, and the brother bent the spoon back, and like it was just like a normal thing. How common is that?
Yeah.
Like, if this is the same world as One Punch Man, then a lot of people have powers.
Yeah, or like My Hero, there's a lot of people
Yeah.
with
So
quirks.
is that just like a normal thing? Like
That's
him
what
being
I'm-
a psychic is just his power?
Like, does he go to a school where everybody has these powers? Like, did everybody in his class have powers?
I
Like,
don't know.
cause like I don't know. Like I said, like his middle school was Salt Middle School. I don't know if that was just like a funny thing or if it's because like salt is used, and like.
Well, the other thing too is the guy, his like special moves, Reagan, is like the salt moves, but he doesn't have the salt, like what do you call it? Like prepared, like through prayer or whatever. Like it's not ritual salt.
Yeah,
That's why it's not
like the
doing
right
anything.
salt
Yeah.
that he needed.
Well, it's like normally with the salt, it has to be like I forget the word for it, and they talked about it in the show even. But essentially, it has to be like empowered by prayer or sanctified or whatever in order to be used. And so that's what like makes him such a joke to me, and why I wonder why Mob isn't just like. Does Mob know that Reagan's kind of a faker, like a liar,
I don't
and
think
he just
so.
sticks with him, or does he not know because he's still pretty young? You know
He
what I mean?
doesn't
Like,
know. I just think he's like kind of like naive. Like I don't think
Think he's naive?
like I just don't think that he knows. Like because the way he was like, why didn't you do anything? And the teacher like he said something. Like whatever he said, like
here's my idea. That's a third option.
and it was like he was like, oh okay, because like the excuse he gave was good,
Well, here's my idea. There could be a third option. Does Reagan actually have power and not really know how to use it, or that he has it in order to wield it? And Mob can sense that power in him, which is why he believes that he could be his teacher.
I don't know if he can sense powers in other people. I think he can just sense
I think
like
if you can sense the power in an evil thing, you would sense the power in a good thing. It's like sensing power is power, right?
No, it's like you sense like paranormal, like I don't know, like a
imagine it
ghost
to be, like-
hunting device
I imagine
can
it to
pick
be
up
like
spikes or whatever, like in like the stuff used for like ghost hunting and stuff.
yeah, but the thing is,
Like-
those equipment, like they do use those equipment, like those types of equipment, to test psychics and stuff like that. I've seen it before where they test their ability to affect those analytics.
I just don't feel like he just because he can sense like demonic presence or whatever.
But it's not just
that
the presence; he
could-
can sense its power. Like that's what I'm getting at.
I just don't think that has anything to do with like Reagan's abilities.
See, I think it does, because I think that if you were able to sense an evil spirit's power or anything's energy or whatever, that you would also be able to sense that energy from other people that have it, like another psychic.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I might be reading way into it, but I would assume that's how that would work.
Okay.
You get what I mean? And I would assume he'd be able to read that. But I also feel like Reagan's just a big faker and doesn't have any power.
Yeah, no,
but
he's definitely a faker.
yeah, like he doesn't have any power. I just want to know how it works. I want more information on the background of like why this is a normal thing. I love the shoutouts to One Punch though.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
The
The quick
Balchin-
with the flip phone.
Yeah.
I thought that was legit.
I didn't see it like at first because I didn't look at his flip phone, and then you said it, and I like kind of like was like looking at the screen, and you could see him.
Well, I just saw a bald guy at first, and I was like, that's Saitama.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be. Now, what I do want to know is, will any of the heroes from One Punch be in the show?
I don't know. Wouldn't it be so cool if like Saitama like showed up and like did something?
Or if any of the people that he destroyed will be evil spirits.
I'm just like watching out, like, you know, if like Momin Rider rides by on his bike or
Yeah,
something.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of Easter egg things like that in this show, and I
Yeah.
like that. It feels familiar while being completely different.
Yeah.
Because it does have a lot of that One Punch vibe and feel and flow to the show. Even the way that they kind of end the show with them walking together and just kind of talking, and like that's kind of like how One Punch ends is normally more isolated and Saitama by himself, and Mob was just kind of walking around and like living life, and I like that. I like that kind of familiarity of the same type of thing while
Yeah.
being a totally different show.
Right.
It's not like
So like my question
super
though is like
the same.
if they're living in the same like universe, like world or whatever, then like that means that there's heroes all over.
yeah.
Sorry, we're both burping. But like but my thing is like, is it that they live in the same world, or are they just like fans of One Punch the show and like he's like Saitama's
Well, that's what I'm saying.
fan,
I don't know
like-
if they exist in the same universe or that is an anime also in their world. that they could
Exactly.
watch.
Yeah. Is that what you were meaning?
Well, that's why I said I don't know if they exist in the same universe or not. Or
Yeah.
if that's just
Like they're just
the
fans.
universe.
But then the guy with the bowl chin, like
That's what I'm
I
saying. It
mean,
appeared like
he's like
I-
there, you know.
we
and-
saw the son and we saw the grandfather. He could have been the dad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to get into this show though.
Yeah, me too.
Because I really had no idea what it was going to be. It's pretty high praise to say that it's going to be a lot like One Punch Man. Obviously, there's a ton of similarities. Like I said, a little bit of crossover. But I love that show so much. Like, I'm such a huge fan of One Punch that it was like, you know what I mean? It's like if somebody hears what your favorite song is, they're like, oh, this is just as good as that song. You're like, hold up. Like,
well, I will say, comparing it to my first thoughts of One Punch, I already like it more than One
lot more.
Punch. Yeah.
I feel like this is more up your alley, though. It's not necessarily just straight up like crazy superheroes with a lot of comedy. Like, it is very funny, but it's more overtly funny. Like, I feel like One Punch is a lot of referential stuff or like small little
Yeah.
sarcastic comments. This is more like in your face.
Yeah, because
like,
a lot of time, like, sarcastic comments go over my head, and I'm like, is that serious?
I feel like it's just a
Or-
different type of comedy.
Yeah.
And this would be more up your alley. I like it a lot. I love the idea of the difference between the student and the master, and the whole
Yeah.
idea that it's supposed to be the other way around, that the master is the one that is knowledgeable and powerful, and you know, I like
Yeah.
that flip side to it. And like I said earlier in the episode, I really do like that Mob is kind of awkward and dorky and can't do well in sports, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
is sleeping in school, and
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. I like that.
I like it too.
It's not necessarily, I don't know, it is kind of an underdog story a little bit, but not necessarily, because the first things we saw of him is being a very powerful person destroying these demons. But it is, I don't know, it's just refreshing whenever we see a new spin on characters.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, shy.
Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. Like it if you did, sub if you don't already. Shout out to our patrons watching the full and early reactions up on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. You really don't know how much it means. It means the world. And we'll have more videos up for you soon. We love you guys. Bye.